ask yourself, where am I making excuses? Because if there's something that you want that you don't have yet, what's the reason? Welcome to Purpose. I'm your host, Corie Clark. I'm just a normal girl who decided to go for it. I created a thriving business from the ground up without sacrificing my sanity, and I believe that you can do the same. You were created on purpose, for a purpose, and I fully believe you can turn that purpose into profit. Each week, I'm going to bring you practical advice to help you live your life and grow your business on purpose. Welcome back to another episode of Purpose. I'm your host, Corie Clark, and I am so excited to chat with you guys today about something that we all can get trapped in, and that is making excuses for ourselves, making excuses for our progress or our lack of progress, or the things that are maybe not going so well in our lives and businesses. And, it's something I've had to work on a lot. I've had to be coached through a lot, and I still catch myself making excuses. But I feel like this is something, especially right now with what we're going through with the virus and being quarantined and businesses closing down and sales slowing down and all of that fun stuff, we can tend to naturally fall back on those things as an excuse. And so that is what I'm going to be chatting about today. But before I get into that, I did want to share that starting on April 20th, I am hosting a free brand building bootcamp. So it's totally free. Go to CorieClark.com/bootcamp. It is going to be 5 days packed with trainings from me, some giveaways. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great place to connect with other purpose-driven female business owners. So head on over to CorieClark.com/bootcamp and get yourself registered so that we can see you live inside the group, obviously live virtually. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited because I am doing some training that I have done in the past. But even if you've been through any of my previous trainings, there will be new stuff because we are going to be addressing the current situation and how we can navigate building our brand, increasing our brand awareness, bringing in sales, creating new connections and all of that good stuff that goes with building a brand, but how we can be doing it in light of what's happening. So if you have been through previous trainings of mine, this will be different, and I'm really excited about it. I've seen too many business owners just kind of letting this new reality set them back and making an excuse. And so that is why I'm talking about that today, because I think these things go hand in hand. I'm a really driven person. I like to get things done. I like to go after things. I don't like to stop until I have succeeded or until I've made it to where I wanted to get. And so and I know not everybody operates that way, but if you have a business, there are some things that you need to take seriously. So, and I think right now, since we are in such a pivotal moment in our society, in history, this is kind of where you are going to either rise above the line or fall below. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. And so for me, I want to rise above. I want to come out stronger. And, I know some of you have less time on your hands because you're homeschooling your kids. You've actually got more on your plate than you used to have. But I want to encourage you that I built my business while homeschooling my kids, and they were home all the time, and so as far as that goes, that is actually just another excuse. And I don't want you to, if that offends you, I'm sorry, but not really, because I know it can be done. And I know this is hard. And I absolutely 100% want you to put your health, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and your family's health above everything else. But I want you to push yourself to find some time to work on your business. If you are a business owner, if you're listening to this and you are a business owner, it is your responsibility to carry your business through this time. And that doesn't mean you have to be bringing in sales. Okay. Like I know there is, there's people who literally cannot bring in sales, but there are unique ways that you can. If you have a brick and mortar shop, you can be selling online. And if you truly cannot, if you literally cannot sell something online, you can still be building your brand. You still can be connecting with people in your community. You still can be posting on Instagram. You can create a Pinterest account that you have been putting off. Whatever it is that you've been putting off, those are the things you can be doing. But when it comes to excuses, we can tend to use this as an excuse and blame it on the virus, blame it on the government, blame it on, oh, I can't get the loan. I haven't gotten my stimulus check, whatever it is. If you find yourself making those excuses, I want you to learn to catch yourself and ask yourself truly, what can I do right now? What can I do in this area of my life that I'm feeling is really crappy? And so if that's your health, if it's your sleep, if you're not getting enough sleep, what can you do to increase your sleep? What can you do? Can you eat healthier? Can you stop drinking? Can you, stop drinking coffee earlier in the day? Really, actually look at yourself, at your life, at your health, at your home, at your finances, at your schedule, at your business. Look at it as an adult, as a responsible adult, and ask yourself, where am I making excuses? Because if there's something that you want that you don't have yet, what's the reason? And the reason is what you're making an excuse. So if you say, oh, well, I don't have enough followers, that's an excuse, and you cannot use that excuse. I know people who run, $1 million businesses without a lot of followers, or if you don't have the time, that's an excuse. Your relationship with time is off, and you need to look at that relationship, and you need to ask yourself truly, in the 24 hours you have in a day, where could you focus on growing the part of your life that you want to grow? So this does not just apply to business. This applies to your health. This applies to relationships. This applies to your relationship with your spouse or your kids. If those are lacking, if they are suffering, what is within your control to make it better? And the reason this was on my heart is I have personally seen with my own eyes a lot of people using the excuse of the virus, of the quarantine, as pulling them back. And at the beginning, it was a little rough. And even if you go back a few weeks ago when this all first started, and in one of my podcast episodes, I was talking about, I don't know if there's a right answer to if you should sell or not right now. But actually, now that we're like a month into this, and this is our new normal for as long as we know, we don't know when this is ending, possibly in a couple weeks. Awesome. If it's ending in a couple weeks, yay. I hope so. But right now, you've now had almost a month to not sell because you don't want to step on anybody's toes. And I'm sorry, but if you have a business that you serve people with, if you're in business already for the right reason, and that's to serve people, that's to help people, that's to bring a transformation to someone's lives, that's to sell them a product that's going to better their life. Whatever reason you're in business, if there are people in the world who can still use what you have to offer, then yes, you should be selling. Now, do you have to be sleazy and try to, jump on an opportunity like that is scammy or trying to take advantage of people? No, absolutely not. I would never recommend that anyways. That's not who I am. That's not the kind of people that I serve. But if you have a business, even if you're at the beginning and you're like, oh my gosh, this just set me back, start moving forward as if this was not a problem. How would you serve your customers today? What would you do? Would you send them an email letting them know about a special offer you have? Would you build a course? Would you launch a course on whatever it is that you're an expert in? If you would normally, if you would have been doing that right now, I want you to still push yourself to do it. And there's ways that you can do it to where you're meeting your audience right where they're at. So right now, as far as my business goes, some parts have gone down. Some sales have gone down. No big deal. I'm moving forward. I'm not going to let that stop me. But I'll tell you what's gone up. My email list has grown by leaps and bounds. My traffic is up by leaps and bounds. And so what does that tell me? That tells me there are people out there who need what I have to offer them. And even if they're not ready to buy from me, eventually they will be. And so if I am just hiding out in my house, sleeping in every day, pampering myself, watching Netflix, and just saying, I'll get back to business when this is all over, I am doing those people a huge disservice. Shame on me. That should not be part of your life right now. I'm honestly talking to serious business owners. If you are listening to this and you're like, yes, I want to have a successful business. I want a 6-figure business. I want a 7-figure business. I want to help change people's lives. If that's you, if you're saying yes to those things, then you are the person I'm talking to. And it's time to stop making excuses because those are just going to hold you back. If you focus on your excuses, they're just going to stay. What you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the lack right now, if you're focusing on your excuses right now, if you're focusing on the fact that you have less time or you have more time or whatever it is that the narrative that's been going through your head for the last month, if it's pulling you down, if it's not helping push your business forward or your life forward, it's time to stop. It's time to stop, cut it off. Find new things to fill your mind with. Start waking up in the morning and journaling or writing down your affirmations. I mean, every morning since this whole thing started and all the mornings before that, because it was a habit, it was a routine, I write in my 90 Days of Purpose journal. I write the things I'm grateful for. I write affirmations. I write my dreams and I write my intentions for the day. And my intentions for the day, they've changed since this happened. One of my intentions is to be full of joy and excitement, which a lot of people are not right now. It's kind of hard to do. But if you set that intention in the morning, I'm going to be full of joy today. I'm going to be full of excitement today. I'm going to be present with my family today. I'm going to stay focused today. Those are things that I'm writing as my intentions for the day. And when you set that in the morning and then you go through it and you create your schedule, and I know it's hard for some of you that have never had to be stuck at home with your spouse, with your kids, whatever it may be. For some of you, you're having a hard time finding your new routine. But now, like I said, it's been almost a month. And so if you're still having trouble with that, it's time to sit down and make a plan. Make a plan. Make a schedule. It doesn't have to be strict. It's just simply, for me, it's a morning routine and it's an evening routine. And it's doing those same things every morning to set my day up for a win and doing the same thing every night. And that's really actually to set up the next day for a win. And when you start to grasp just those little tiny things that you can still control and start ignoring those excuses that pop up in your head, recognize them. You know, like if this, honestly, if this is a problem for you, I want you to make a list of all the places in your life that you're not happy with. And then I want you to ask yourself why you're not happy with those things. Like what's lacking, what's missing, what's pulling you down. Those things are your excuses. And 9 times out of 10, you can change them. Okay. So, I'm not talking about something extreme like your house burned down. Like, yeah, that's not an excuse. Yes, you no longer have a home and you have to like navigate that season. But right now, if you're home and you're healthy and you have a roof over your head and you have internet connection and you still have kind of the basics of moving on with your life and running a business and moving your body during the day, like there really is no excuse anymore. And I want to see, the women in my Purpose Babe Society. I want to see them come through this stronger, better. I want them to have momentum because it can be a really exciting summer for them. If they stay the path, if they stay on track, they stay motivated, and they don't make excuses. And so, whatever those excuses are, if you make your little list, because right now, some of you might be thinking, and I've done this, and this is why I know this, because I've had to go through this. And I still, to this day, like last week, I had a coaching call with my business coach, and he brought up the difference between wanting something and getting something. And we can get stuck in this, like, well, I want this and I want this successful business and I want all these followers. If you want them, you have to go out and get them. If you want that business, you have to go get it. It's not going to just come to you. You have to actually move yourself into action and get those things that you want. And I know because when he said it, it stung. And I've gone through this in other parts of my business, in other areas. I've pushed through. I've gotten what I've wanted. And then when we came to this hurdle I was facing, it was like, oh, yeah, ew. Like, yeah, I've been making excuses there. So this isn't anything new for me. It's not something I'm immune to. It happens. But I feel like the more you actually look at those excuses that you've been making and admit to yourself, yeah, I've actually been making an excuse there. And it's actually like a pretty bad one. So let's get rid of it and let's create a plan to push through and get that thing that we want. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. And I just really am coming to you from a place of a desire to help you get through this season stronger and to get through this season better and to not lose your business, to not lose the momentum that maybe you created, and to come out of this situation as a leader, as a successful business owner, ready to take on the rest of the year and truly to make 2020 your best year ever. A lot of people have already written off the year. And I get it. Like 2020 is not off to a great start, but we are still only a few months into the year. We have so much year left. And even if this quarantine and things don't go back to normal for even if it takes a few more months, we still have time to make it our best year ever. And that is what I am counting on. And that is what, Ryan and I have talked about. We still feel like even with this setback, we've had to put things on hold for our live event. We're still planning on going through with it, but we can't really, promise anything because we don't know what's going to happen. So there are things that we have had to put on hold, but they're not totally on hold. There's stuff going on behind the scenes to keep it moving so that when everything lifts, we're ready to really take ground. And so my hope today is that if you're listening to this and you feel convicted and you feel like, yeah, I think I have been making excuses, I want you to know that I am totally here for you. I'm here to support you, to back you, to guide you in the right direction, to point you which way you need to go. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in Ryan and me and our business and my family. And I believe in you and your family and your business. And I believe that you still are here on this earth at this time for a purpose. And I believe that you can use that purpose to create the life and business that you've always wanted. But it's going to take work on your part. It doesn't just fall into your lap. It's not an overnight success. I've been at this for a long time, and it's a messy road. It's not for the faint of heart, but I am here to help you, to point you in the right direction, and to connect with you. So be sure you sign up for the free boot camp. Like I said, it's at CorieClark.com/bootcamp. I'll have all the details in the show notes. And we also have a free community. If you are a listener of the show and you want to connect with other purpose-driven women, you can go to CorieClark.com/community. And that is where we connect, talk about the show, and other life and business stuff. So thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I pray that you have an amazing week, that you can get out of your funk if you're in a funk, and that you can push through so that we can get through this together. All right, you guys, thanks so much for listening. I will see you next week. Same time, same place.